Hello, hello, and this is Masamushia from Percolation Gaming, and today we are going to be doing a Let's Play of Banjo Kazooie, one of Rare's N64 games. And this is where we start, Spiral Mountain. Trying to save our poor little sister. Oh no, she's gone. Now, since we're going to be going to all the tutorial areas anyway for the honeycombs, which I'll explain later, we're just going to do the tutorials anyway. One thing I love about this game is just like the quirky characters. I mean, they're all so silly and everything has its own little unique voices. Even like the objects get personified in some way. The controls are pretty much the same as that of virtually any N64 game. When it comes to controls, it's essentially a carbon copy of Mario 64, with a few differences here and there, such as its non-linear kind of platforming it's shooting for, which in my opinion, Mario 64 is incredibly linear. It's still fun, don't get me wrong, but it's a very straightforward game and a little tedious in too many areas. Now that's not to say that this game isn't. Every game is at some point to a certain degree, but still a great game overall. This game came out in 1998, believe it or not. So long ago on the N64. It was released 10 years later on Xbox Arcade, which was critically acclaimed and apparently just a solid resurrection of the series itself. Banjo Tooie, the sequel to this game, also came out on Xbox Arcade not too long afterwards. There were plenty of sequels and even threequels really, but it got a little out of hand and the series just kind of lost touch. It was a little too outdated for its time, unfortunately, and it was time to move on from this series. As you saw, the honeycombs, they just give you more HP whenever you collect 6. There's 6 in the tutorial area, which is why we're doing in the first place. In order to get the honeycombs, you have to complete the tutorials in some way. So there's no point in doing the tutorials without dialogue, I mean, really. Now this is just silliness. All I had to do was turn around and I could have got the honeycomb. But no! I had to make a dumb mistake. Now swimming has got to be the most annoying thing in this game. It is so terrible. You have to be incredibly precise with the controls in order to get what you're actually aiming for. And it's just no good. Thankfully though, there's not a lot of swimming to be had in this game, which is just a huge relief. Because that would have been pretty terrible. It's also kind of interesting how all the controls or abilities rather, you have are locked, and you have to go to some sort of training in order to get them, which is kind of cool. Though some of those little unlocks are in the form of items, but still you're constantly learning new moves throughout the entirety of the game. Not one here or there or whatnot, but all throughout the game there's something new to do, a new way to find a way to solve your own little puzzle. It's pretty neat. Though generally speaking, every puzzle in the game does only have one real solution. There aren't too many ways to go about this. Now watch how brutal this is. You just shatter everything. Rock's all like, "Hey Kazooie, what's up?" And you're just like, "Ah!" and you kill it. These poor rocks. Now this murderous bird is even threatening to kill Bottles. So much violence. It's like Yogi Bear mixed with Max Payne. Okay, now here we have the most useless attack in almost any game ever. It is so bad. Okay, let's see the awesomeness. Let her rip. Now we have to hit B. But we can't do it while moving. You have to stand still and hit B. Someone really thought that move through. Let's just kill all mobility. Yeah, that sounds like a good idea, especially in a platforming game. Great idea, Joe. Promoted immediately. That one's slightly better, but it gets outdone by the next move we learn. Since you can't really control the roll, it's just in whatever direction you're facing, and it does like a full somersault or so. Now here we have the Kingpin. That move right there. That little beak barrage. There's essentially like no reason to use anything else because that move is just... oh, it's amazing. You jump, you attack, and you can pretty much go in circles while you're doing it. Now there's one neato little trick about the house, but we can't really do this until the second area, but I'll show you pretty much how you do it anyway. This game is chock full of secrets and it makes it so fun to discover them. Now what you have to pretty much do is look at the portrait of bottles and it'll bring you into a little slider puzzle that you can unlock, and every time you solve a puzzle there, it gives you a cheat code, which is pretty fun. They're not like real cheat codes or anything, but there's just like little cosmetic things. But we can't do that until the second level. So we'll revisit at some point and have ourselves a little blast. Go! The voices crack me up so much. They're so ridiculous. Now we need to go venture off to get the last honeycomb. There's pretty much one pro tip for this game, and it's explore the entire area. If it looks like you can go behind something, odds are you can go behind it. Case in point right here with the waterfall. Pretty much always go behind buildings or ladders or doors or whatever is blocking your way, because odds are there'll be something valuable there. Whether it be a Mumbo token, which we'll see later, a honeycomb, or just anything really. Sometimes there's even little Jinjos you can collect, which help get you the little objectives that you're trying to get, which are jigsaws, that help you progress through the main story. Here we go, off to Gruntilda's lair to save our darling little sister. Let the heroics ensue. Also, since he kind of crawls through holes and whatnot, how does he actually get into the lair? He can't really burrow his way through a bridge, but oh well. Tune in next time for Gruntilda's lair.